Hey everybody, it's Christine, and today I have a new Bella Boulevard layout showcasing several of their collections. Especially I want to show off how I'm using their Clear Cuts paper. This is a clear acetate page that has white hearts all over it, and they have these with several of their collections. And I'm going to just use it to do white on white, so it's going to add some nice texture to a plain white background. And you can see I'm adhering that to just a piece of white scratch paper, and already you can see that it adds just a different look to it. Definitely shiny, so a little bit of a challenge to photograph, but it definitely has a different look than just if I was going with plain white cardstock. I am going to mount that onto this black and white paper from the Squeeze the Day collection. And then I'm going to begin to build my really big title. Our challenge this week from Bella Boulevard was to use a big title. Now, initially when I set out to do this, I had an even bigger title in mind. However, things were like laid out on my desk and it just kind of worked. And so I decided I'd go a little smaller on the title and run with what was working. And what was working was this pile of flowers that you see. I cut these all out using Bella Besties and Squeeze the Day. So I got the pinks, I got the reds, I got blues, yellows, oranges, all the different great colors from Bella Boulevard. And I cut them out using one of their cut files. So I've got a variety of sizes, and I had them all piled up. And when I set a title down on top of it, I thought it looked really cool with the pile of flowers underneath my title. So what I did was shifted my plan. I went and I cut out the word blessed, also a Bella Boulevard cut file, and I cut it out really big. And then I decided to use that for my title. Now, you can see down at the bottom of the screen there, I am building my pile of flowers. After I had laid it out and made this plan, I realized, oh, this is going to be interesting to try and secure onto a layout, because how do you secure a pile of something? So basically what I am doing is just putting down a layer of adhesive, and then I put down my initial layer. Then I shook it out just like I did right there. Got anything that was loose off, and then I'm just going to go back and keep adding to the pile. Add a little adhesive here, add a little adhesive there, add some more flowers. I'm also going to work in addition to the tape runner that I'm using, I'm going to work in some adhesive dots where I need to, until eventually I just get one big, humongous pile of flowers. And it ended up taking a little time. You can see it's sort of a tedious process, but it ended up to be a really cool look. The picture that I'm actually going to use today is a big blown up copy of the design team announcement from Bella Boulevard for this past year. When I initially made the creative team, I had a friend mention that I should scrapbook it because it was just an exciting moment for me, a dream come true. And she said, you should scrap it and tell that story too. And so obviously it's been a little while since she told me that, but I wanted to take the time to do it. And so like my flower color choice in this case was what coordinated with the border on this picture. The border on it is actually a patterned paper from Let's Go on an Adventure. And so I really pulled the colors from that. And then I also, after I printed the picture, I ended up matting it with some green paper from the Squeeze the Day collection. But you can see that the picture itself brings a lot of color to the layout. And because of the size, I don't need to go too crazy with adding additional embellishments. And I am going to tuck that underneath those flowers. Now I got a little bit high on my flowers there, and so I'm going to have to make some adjustments, pull some things up a little bit so I can get the picture down, trying mainly to keep my margins even for the white part at the top and the bottom of the layout. And also here you can see I'm trying to make sure I got my picture centered, which it's always amazing to me how you think it's centered and then you measure it and you're off by like nearly an inch or something. And it's kind of funny how deceptive it can be as you're putting things on there. So I'm using a T ruler there to do that. So using to measure, but I also use that to make sure things are on there straight. Obviously with the pile of flowers and the white on the black. I want to make sure that my picture gets on there nice and straight so that things don't look off kilter at all. Now, as you can see, I've got a pretty good balance. My margins look good. My flower pile is looking good. I can always add on more flowers after I add the title if I see spots that need another color or whatever. But I just kind of am stepping back looking, okay, do I need another yellow flower in this area? Am I missing, you know, do I have a gap here? Is there some adhesive showing? Looking for all those little details. Now, my title, like I said, is a cut file from Bella Boulevard. It says Blessed, and I actually am going to add some tiny thin strips of 3D adhesive onto it and put it on there so that it pops up. So you can see that I've got some good dimension going on. The next thing I'm going to do is use some flower clusters to surround my picture and just give some detail to the top of the page. Otherwise, it's a little bit sparse up there, and I don't want it to be too empty. Again, not wanting to take away from the picture or the title because those are really the stars, but I do want to make sure the eye pulls into the picture. So those flower clusters will allow me to do that. Also considering, do I want some leaves in there or that kind of thing? Ultimately, I think I'm going to stick with leaves just around my flower clusters. I've already got that nice pop of green around my picture, so I don't need to add too much more. For my clusters, I'm going to use a bigger flower as my anchor, and I may tuck that behind the picture a little bit just because when you do that, it helps to tie the whole thing together, make it more cohesive. So I'm going to add those, and then I'm going to add some little ones and also some leaves, both some leaves from the Chow Chip from the Squeeze the Day collection, as well as some leaves from the ephemera from that same collection. Easily could have cut these out as well. I had them already with those two things, so I didn't cut anything. I am going to make sure not to have the same colored flowers, and on the opposite side, I'm going to have different flowers. I'm also going to make sure that they are placed so that the one on the right hand side is a little higher up and then the one on the left hand side is a little lower down, working the eye down the layout from top to bottom. I would like to get some words on there, and as you are well aware, Bella Boulevard has lots of words within their collections, be it on the cut-apart pieces in the patterned paper, or in the stickers, or in the ephemera, or in the Chow Chip. You got lots of options within each collection. So I just pulled out the Squeeze the Day ones, and I'm actually going to pull a couple of arrow stickers from the cardstock sticker sheet and use those. The colors coordinate perfectly, and they had some words on there that would work for describing the picture. I just have to figure out how I want to place those on there. I did end up deciding to overlap the picture and the matting just a little bit, again, to bring it all together to make it more cohesive and look like one piece instead of separated and disjointed. My final step is going to be to pull out some black Nouveau drops, and I'm going to use those to pull in the black from my background. I am going to just fill in the center of every flower that I can. I'm not going to go underneath the title, but I am going to do that pile down there and just go all around the title, adding in Nouveau drops. And what this does is adds a little bit of dimension, also makes it so I don't have to have 100 black enamel dots. But it just helps to pull together. Again, make the whole thing cohesive, make that black background make sense with the black picture, black background, black Nouveau drops. It all makes the color scheme come together. I did also add a red border sticker up there at the top just because I wanted an extra punch of things up there. Again, it was feeling a little bit sparse, and so that was a good choice for that. So really, this whole layout is comprised of patterned paper, clear cut paper, and stickers, all from Bella Boulevard. And if you wanted to recreate it, if you don't have a silhouette machine, you could definitely use a flower punch or metal die cuts and punch out a bunch of flowers and just as easily replicate that. The title is a little trickier, obviously, because it's a big script word, but anything that you could punch out or cut out big with scissors would definitely work as well. So there you have it, a fun layout for me about myself and my design team experience, featuring all kinds of beautiful product from Bella Boulevard. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, and we will see you again next time.